Hey y'all, this is Charity Watts, and we are about to get into the spiritual development of me. It all began in the womb. I was born into Crenshaw Christian Center, and my spiritual development started there in the nursery, children's church. I was very involved, dance ministry, just doing as much as I could. My parents were involved, my sister was involved. I had a very stable foundation up until around the age of 10. And that's when things got a little shaky for me. God is my homeboy, let me just tell you, because I have been through so many things, and if it wasn't for God, I would not be sitting here in front of you right now. I think He has played such a huge part in my development, just guiding me and leading me even when I didn't know He was leading me. And I think that's part of our walk, is not necessarily knowing all the time that He's leading you, but having that faith to just keep moving and trust that He is leading you in the right direction, even through trials and even through things that you think He has no involvement in, like for example the death of my mother. Even though that was a tragic situation, so many blessings have come out of that. I've gotten closer to my family because of that, and I'm able to share my story for so many girls who don't have a mother, whether it's their mother died or their mother is in jail or in prostitution, whatever. And so you never know, the things you go through will cause you to be a light into someone's life, to be an example, to share your testimony. I could have decided to use that as an excuse to not keep going, to not graduate middle school, high school, college, but I didn't. College life as a Christian at Arizona State University, one of the top party schools in the United States, was interesting.
Charity went to parties.
That was a very crucial time for me, because it was a time where I had to decide whether I was going to remain in my walk with God. I didn't have my dad telling me, Charity, you gotta go to church. Make sure you read your word, make sure you pray. And I didn't have that. So it was really up to me to decide if I was going to go to church on my own, whether I had a car or not. You have so many temptations. You have drugs, alcohol, you have sex, you have all these things literally waiting for you, or I'll say waiting for me. And it was a decision that I had to make to not entertain those things. I am a 23-year-old virgin. What? You're lying. It hasn't been easy. Let me just say that. There were some fine ones. But I made the decision not to even go down that route. Of course, I dated in terms of sex. What comes with it, that just wasn't what I wanted to do. Everybody on campus was doing it, and that made me unique in myself, was everybody knew
Charity wasn't with that.
I made a clear stance that that's what I was gonna do, no matter what. You are so valuable and you're so worth it, and there's no point of giving yourself to someone who doesn't love you, because the real person who loves you would never ask you to compromise what you believe in. And for those of you who are wanting to remain abstinent, and those of you who are going down the path of celibacy, in terms of you have had sex and you want to recommit yourself to God, it's okay to understand that it's not easy. But what happens is you have to make the decision. Stick with it. The reason I touched on my story and my development is because I have a challenge for you all. The Do Challenge. The Do Challenge is the Develop You Challenge. And so a lot of times, many people develop the outside rather than the inside first. So my challenge for you is to develop from the inside out rather than the outside in. And here's how you're gonna do it. Step 1, find out who you are. And you can do that by taking a piece of paper and pen and answering the question to yourself, who are you? Whatever comes to mind immediately, write it down. Don't filter it. Don't try to think of reasons of who you are because someone else told you you're that way. Good things, positive things, negative aspects of yourself. Write it down. Step 2 is you're gonna strengthen your positives and overcome your weaknesses. It's something that I've had to do for sure. I was writing some of mine down, and some of my negatives are being lazy. You know, I have those moments where I just don't feel like doing what I need to do. No.
Yeah.
But I realized that by writing it down. So now I know that I'm able, that's something I need to overcome. Step 3, just surround yourself with like-minded people who bring the best out of you and challenge you on the regular. I challenge you to participate and to really get to know who you are and develop who you are, and develop into the person that God wants you to be, because ultimately that's going to be the greatest version of you that you could ever possibly be.